I think the intent of this, or what we were speaking on, Mary and I, walking into this, was just that love is indeed everywhere. And coming into this month of where are we? What the heck? Valentine's Day. February. And it's beautiful because it's focused on romantic love. But if you look at how we live our life and the beauty of our life, and we love each other so deeply and dearly, I think what's gorgeous about it is that it's more beautiful because of this extraordinary extended family that we have,
Yes.
Mary being one of them.
Yes.
You've brought more beauty to our life because of the sharing, and it magnifies life. Having our daughter magnified love,
Yes.
bringing Billy Becker, Master Coer, Diana, all these beautiful souls when my mommy and daddy come. And I think that's the beautiful gift, that when we're walking this human experience, and maybe you are, if you're, listening to this right now, your, mind can have this narrative, yeah, but I want the one. And I think sometimes, we can miss the love that's in front of us when
Yes.
we're wanting that or expecting that or desiring it. Not to say that you can't have that desire, to fall in love, because, but love just a lot of times looks different. This constellation looks different than I ever imagined.
Yes.
The sharing in the experience of being a parent. And I think sharing is a basis of love as well,
No question about it.
But yet as we share, it grows. It grows, and we're in a culture these days where it's mine. It's mine. There's this gathering for oneself, and it's so beautiful to share in the gifts that God has blessed us with.
The biggest mistake I think with love is thinking that love is something you go get, or relationship is where you go get love, when I think a relationship is where you go to give love. We all have practiced that. That's why there's more, there's never less for anybody. And I think the ultimate test in a relationship, whether it be a deep friendship or anything else, is, what are you willing to give for this? When you're in love with somebody, you give anything. You're lit up by what you give. You're not saying, what am I getting? The minute you start measuring, what are you getting? Now it's a trade. It's a horse trade. It isn't love anymore. It's an exchange. There's nothing wrong with an exchange. You can do that in business, but even the most successful business people that I know, they love their clients. They fall in love with their client, not their product or service.
Yes.
Or another way of looking at it is seeing our daughter, who, we want to make sure she understood sign language before she could speak. So a lot of frustrations with children is they're trying to communicate, but no one understands. So now she speaks, obviously, putting a lot of words together, but she'll go to like her music class or something, and you guys know, she sits there, rubs her heart, which means, please. Then she'll say, please, and put her hands. She wants to hug everybody. Kids like smacking her aside, get away from me. Doesn't stop her. She keeps coming like a love bug. No. And why is that? Because that's all she's seen.
Yes.
All she sees is us. Everybody hugs, kisses, loves, acknowledges. And love is also how you express it. A relationship is often the sum of communications you have. Dr. Gottman, who's probably the greatest expert in the world on intimate relationship love in terms of sustainability, he has a 91% success rate in watching a couple talk for 15 minutes and saying whether or not they'll be divorced within 5 years. And the reason is there are certain ways of communicating that turn people off. When you roll your eyes to your partner, when you're non-responsive, you look somewhere else when they're communicating to you, when you are telling your partner what to do, when you're trying to control them. There's certain issues that just kill the experience of love. No one wants to be controlled. But I think the way to look at the love in your life is say, how can I expand at the most basic level the caring and kindness I have for the people around me? I know that some studies have done with kids that are very violent. And there was a group in Texas that I worked with years ago, probably 25 years ago, and it was in this high school. And they got these kids to care for animals. And they learned to care and love an animal, and then it started transferring to humans. Maybe you don't have what you want yet, or you're in a relationship that doesn't feel like there's a lot of intimacy or closeness. Maybe it's time to get closer to some of your friends and build the muscle up, so to speak. Honey, you're unbelievable at self-love. I think it's because of your connection to God and your way of looking at life. But you give yourself a kiss, you say, bless me, not excuse me when you sneeze.
That might not land well.
But it's true. But it's so innocent and so true. There's no ego to it. It's not about you.
She'll walk into a wall and then be like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she says I'm sorry to her body and kisses it and so forth. Now, I'm not made that way, but I want to hear and I think it'd be great to hear the share of your view of self-love, because it has a negative frame for a lot of people. And other people say, well, I can't love others because I don't love myself. I don't know if that's that absolute. where does your self-love come from? And I mean that in the highest regard, because it's one of the things that inspires me and Mary, does it not?
Absolutely.
You know,
Yes.
it's beautiful because it's so pure. It's not, there's no affectation to it. It's not positioning. It's just total sincere love toward your own body and spirit. There's a kindness to yourself that most people don't have for themselves.
Without that tinge that is in media today of like, I just need to love myself. And
Yeah, no,
that
I'm not
makes
talking
me
about that
like,
crap.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There's no,
Let's go.
that's what I'm saying. No
And I'm not saying
affectation. It's
don't-
no positioning. It's
yeah.
no virtue signaling. It's just really real.
Well, I'm asking myself as I'm listening to you guys talking right now, I think I really have the lens or the filter that life is a miracle. And I feel that our bodies, the fact that I'm alive blows my mind. And I know that sounds
Just because
crazy.
you hung out with me for the last 24 years,
I'm serious.
dragging you around the planet.
And I don't know if it's because, we've had different health challenges and so forth come to the surface that all of a sudden has a lens that I feel even more preciousness or an awakeness to the miracle of life. But I really have a sense like, wow, this body of mine, like it serves me so well. It supports me every day. That makes me grateful. It makes me want to take care of her. And by the way, I did not always have that filter. I did not always have that lens. I think it happened, or the shift happened coming into my early 40s. And I've always been an extender.
Yes.
I've always been a love and looking after, supporting people in my life. But I missed myself for so many years. That's the truth, Tom. I can't say I've always been this way.
Yes.
I think it's evolved through life, through pain, through having challenges with my health, and recognizing that, oh my gosh, I would do this for anybody, a beloved friend of mine, my mama, our child, anything. And yet, why wouldn't I offer that to myself?
Yes.
And as I'm, just observing my own thoughts, I think that really came from at a stage of, my health being compromised.
Yes.
And experiencing the physicality of that, the reality of that. And it really woke me up. It woke me up that, holy flip, this life, this moment, this body is a gift. And I fell in love with serving her. I know that sounds crazy, but like I'll get out of the shower and I'll be like, all right, sweetheart, here we go,
Yes.
and I'll think about it. And many times I'll walk down the stairs and it's like, okay, how can I bless myself? And so I'll ask
great
myself,
questions.
and then it's like, how can I bless myself? And it's like, oh, you know what? A lemon water, or it'll make me tune in, or causes me to tune in and recognize that, gosh, I haven't drank a water recently, or, I'm hungry, or do you know what? I'll just step outside for a minute because it feels good. Even if I'm going into a meeting, even if I have a call. Mary, you did it so beautifully today. You were like, I actually thought it was so lovely. You were like, I'm feeling chilled. I just want to go outside and stand on the seawall for 2 minutes and come back in here, and then we'll get ready for the recording.
Yeah, be in the right state.
But I loved that for you. I recognized that act for yourself.